Hey, and welcome back again. Just doing a quick video here, very quick, very succinct, at how you assign commands to your buttons within Android Studio. Now, I'm not going through the whole thing of how to create a screen or anything like that. That's a different day's video. And what I've actually done is use code from another person's project and modified it, which hey, happens. And just looking at this here, the main important thing what you have to do is obviously once you have done your outline within your XML file, both using the code and design, and you will interchange between both, because I've nearly find that doing it with code is doing the setting up the line out and the layout is way faster. But anyway, looking back here at design, okay, I have two buttons here. I have a login and I have a register, and it's a simple registration screen, okay, which is embodied by the main activity program. So what I want to do is I want to assign Java commands to the login screen. It's no good just having it there and just clicking on it and nothing happening. So the first thing what we need to do, okay, is obviously know what type of object we are working with. Now I know this is a button, but in case you forget, if you click on any of these options, right, you can see down here on the component tree, okay, and if you just leave the mouse over it, it will tell you what type of what type of object it is. In this case, button. Okay. The second piece of important information is the ID that you give this button. Now, I've let it as being ID button register and ID button login. Okay, you can see that up there. Okay, and you can also assign that within the XML if you have to, using the Android tag for ID. Okay, well, not tag, but you know what I mean, attribute. Okay, so basically what this allows us to do is that this is the link between both our Java and our XML, and this is actually stored in a file called the R file, which we'll refer to later. Okay, so looking back at main activity, okay, I have created a simple activity, okay, which extends app compat activity. Okay, you can see that there. Okay, now in the method that I'm overriding from app comp activity on create, you can see that I've got some of the default lines. Now I've put in one or two extra lines because I want to show a toast when I get this button running. Okay, but the key important line here, okay, is on line 20. But before I do line 20, I have to actually declare that I need a button. Okay, in this case I'm declaring that I need two of them. One of them called login and one of them called register. Now what these are actually up there on line 12, and where you can see the cursor flashing there, which I'm highlighting now, okay, are Java objects. Okay, within Android there's a whole rake of Java objects, new Java objects, which you will have to get used to, and not necessarily used to, but as I said before, learning to read and understanding API documentation. Okay, so I've got a login button, login there, but down here on line 20 is where the magic happens. We assign, okay, login, okay, to whatever comes back by find view by ID. Okay, and what this method does is that it attaches whatever it finds within the R file with this ID, in this case ID button login, which lo and behold is the name or the ID we gave it to our login button. And what we can do then is use that to create Java code associated. Okay, so we can see down here, you can actually see in the comment, the next section of code sets up an on-click listener for the button. Okay, it makes use of what is known as an anonymous class, and then we can create something that when the viewer, not the viewer, but the user clicks, some functionality happens. So the first thing is that we need to use the button class, a function, a very common function within all of these classes is set on click listener, and this is setting up what is known as an event handler. In other words, that if you click on this, certain actions will occur. Now here is the part of the anonymous class. You can see down here, okay, that as a parameter within this method, that I'm actually setting up what is known as an anonymous class. Now, lambdas have replaced them a bit, but one thing at a time. Okay, and what actually is happening here is that we are creating, okay, an anonymous instance of a class on Click Listener, and we're just basically using that. Okay, and here is the important point here, is that once you start typing this in with an Android Studio, it will put in what you need to do, but it won't put in the actual code within on Click. And it's here where we put in the code. And you can see here, right, that lines 30 to 33, what I've just basically done is a simple toast. Okay, and I'll run it now in a few seconds. Okay, I'll actually run it in the second video, which will show how to set up the running of it. Okay, but the important point here is this, is that you are linking, okay, by the use of find view by ID to a Java object, in this case button, and then we are setting up a set on Click Listener. Okay, and that's the important point. So in the next video, what I will do is go through, okay, the toast and so forth like that, and use Genymotion to just show you this running. Okay, so until then, cheerio, bye bye, and talk to you then.